Hello everybody, today I will be showing you how to change oil to Peugeot 2014 and 2015 models. Here you can see on the oil dipstick that the oil is really black. It's quite used up and now it is good time to change the oil. And today I will be changing the oil through the oil stick hole here. You can see I will be putting the pump tube inside the hole there, and I will be basically sucking out the oil from the oil dipstick hole with the hand pump. So here I'm starting to pump the oil out. You will see slowly the oil is coming out, and this model of the car basically has about 3.5 liters of total oil capacity. You may want to check your own car and model how much oil it has inside, but for me it was about 3.5 liters. And there's always gonna be a little bit of oil left after this thing, since you cannot really completely drain every last drop of oil out of the car using this method. Here you can see, now you can hear it is getting quite empty, and that's basically all the oil that I could drain easily with this method out of there. And then next up I will be removing the oil filter. You want to change the oil filter every time you do an oil change. And here I'm able to get the oil filter out with just using hands, but if your oil filter is stuck, you may want to buy one of those oil filter wrenches or oil filter socket that you can then attach to a torque bar or something, and then you can get the oil filter off. I wouldn't recommend using the method of punching a screwdriver to your oil filter. If you do that, your oil filter is going to tear open, and in most cases you're not gonna be able to get the thing out. It's gonna be bad, so don't use the screwdriver method. Here you can see when you remove the oil filter, you're gonna have some oil, of course, leaking out, so you want to be prepared with some kind of container like I have here. And then just continue to unscrew the filter, then you're gonna get the filter out. Then you want to find a way to put the filter in the container. It was kind of a tight space there, it was kind of hard to do. And then you just drop the filter into the container and you're done with this step. And yeah, you can see you want to use gloves with this thing. You're gonna get your hands oily otherwise, so use gloves. It's good. And here here's like a new oil filter, and I will be pre-filling the oil filter. This filter takes about 2 or 3 deciliters of oil. I spilled some oil on the floor, so I'm not fully sure how much it takes. About 2 or 3 deciliters. And when you pour oil, you would want to turn the oil can about 90 degrees so you can pour the oil easier. If you do it this way, you will see pretty soon I will be spilling quite a bit of oil on the floor, like not the best idea. But yeah, this also takes a bit of time. You want to put in a bit of oil and then let the oil filter air out. You can see the air bubbles bubbling there. It's gonna take a few minutes for this whole process to be done. But yeah, you see here, if you pour it this way, it's gonna be really easy to accidentally spill the oil on the floor, so yeah, do it the other way. There's also some videos I can link in the description showing you why it's a good idea to pre-fill the oil filters, because if you don't pre-fill the oil filters, it's gonna be empty, and when you start the car for first time after the oil change, there's gonna be no oil in the filter, so the engine is gonna be cranking for a longer time without any oil, and that's gonna wear out the engine faster. So that's why it's a good idea to pre-fill the oil filters. And now the oil filter is pretty much all filled up, and after you have filled up the oil filter, you're going to want to put some oil on the O-ring. It helps with the oil filter not leaking and not sticking too much onto the car, so it's easier to change afterwards. So yeah, always make sure to oil the O-ring. And here you can see I'm putting in the new oil filter that's already pre-filled, and the O-ring has been also oiled, and it's pretty easy. Just screw it in normally. Depending how full the oil filter is, some oil may squeeze out at the very top. In this case, not much did, maybe a little bit, but yeah, you also want to be prepared for that. That's also why it's good to use gloves. And when you tighten the oil filter, only tighten it to hand tight. If you would use some kind of tool to tighten it, you may over tighten it, and that would be bad. So just tighten it with hand, and when you see that it's not really going anywhere, that's a good thing. Here you can see the oil that I used. It's like 5W30, and it's like a 5-liter can, and you can see I used about 3 deciliters right there, and here I will be putting the rest of the oil inside the engine. And again, here you may want to pour it the other way. You see here I will be spilling a shit ton of oil on the engine itself. Not really good. It's gonna be kind of messy, so you may want to turn the oil can 90 degrees so it's easier to pour. But yeah, the total oil capacity is about 3.5 liters for this model, and you want to reduce the 0.3 liters from the 3.5, because you put the 0.3 into the oil filter, so you're gonna be putting about 3.2 liters of additional oil into here, in the engine. And yeah, you may want to use something else so it wouldn't spill this badly, but yeah, you can do it this way, but it's kind of messy. Then you want to close the oil cap. And yeah, it's all closed up. Then you want to clean all the excess oil that you may have accidentally spilled over. If you did it right, you wouldn't spill any over, but you know, I didn't do it right, so I spilled some oil. And here you can then, when all this is done, you can take out the oil stick and you can clean it and see that okay, it's clean. Then you can dip it back in, see how much oil there is, and see if it's clean. And you know, if you did it right, it should be pretty clean, because it's new oil, you haven't used it, so it's supposed to be pretty clean. And here you're gonna see in a few seconds that yeah, the oil is basically completely filled up and it's all nice and clean oil here, so it was very much a success. Then there's one last step left. After this, you wanna start up your car and see if it leaks any oil. So you want to run your car for a little bit and check for any oil leaks on the oil filter. If you didn't tighten it enough, it may leak a little bit, but hand tightening the oil filter should be enough, and you can then go ahead and clean up any excess oil that you may have spilled. But yeah, that's basically it.